Hi, I'm Steph McDermott. I am a 14-year-old student who has lived in Kitchener all my life. I take transit on a daily basis, and when I was approached to be a part of this rapid transit video, I was excited to have an influence on my community and to just be a part of the Rapid Transit Planning Initiative. I'm very interested in transit. I've studied systems all over the world. It was a real treat just to know that I was having an influence on bringing what I had seen in my studies back to Kitchener and the rest of Waterloo region, just to have an influence on my community.
Waterloo region is a growing community, and experts predict that we will have a population of nearly 730,000 people by 2031. That's a growth of almost 50% over the next 25 years. A major consideration with all this growth is how we will all move around the region. Our roads and highways are becoming congested, and during rush hour, traffic jams are already happening. Experts tell us that adding more roads only adds more traffic, so more roads alone will not solve the problem. Rapid transit can carry a lot more people much more efficiently than cars alone. Rapid transit is a public transportation system, operating for its entire length primarily in a dedicated lane. That means it's different from the bus system we have now because it won't get stuck in traffic.
Well, I think for the rapid transit line specifically, it is really important for it to be direct and frequent and really efficient. But I think it's important that we move to a different frame of mind when we're talking about rapid transit, because it can't be a local bus service that picks up people at a little stop and drops them off a little while later. It has to be something that can transport vast numbers of people for, great lengths of time. It has to be able to hold up to that.
But rapid transit is not just about moving people. As part of its growth management strategy, the region of Waterloo also wants to use rapid transit to help shape our communities. Some forms of rapid transit have helped other cities focus their growth near rapid transit stations. This is important for Waterloo region because we can't just continue to grow outwards towards our rural and farming areas. We need to start focusing our growth in areas that are already built up, like our downtowns. That way people and businesses moving into our built up areas can access services that already exist, like water, sewers, garbage collection, and transit, rather than forcing the region to build all new services on the outskirts of town, which is expensive, wasteful, and inefficient. There are some great benefits that come from building a rapid transit system. To find out how rapid transit can help reduce the growth of pollution, we spoke to David Roade from the Public Health Department at the region.
Our air quality, if you compare it to other communities in Ontario, out of about 40 communities, we're often in the top 10 worst. We've had some high smog day years, if you will. That's really dependent on weather. When it's hot years like 2002, 2005, we can have upwards of 13 smog alerts covering 50 days. A more meaningful indicator of air quality is perhaps the air quality index when it's in that moderate to poor zone. And there's been an increasing trend in that zone over the last 10 years. Another indicator is that we are exceeding federal and provincial air quality standards for ground level ozone and fine particulate matter. I think rapid transit can improve air quality in three ways. One, it can reduce vehicle exhaust, particularly if people are getting out of their single occupancy vehicle, driving alone and into a transit alternative. It can also reduce traffic congestion, which is really important because when you have congested traffic going at very slow speeds and stopping a lot, you have a lot of idling and localized emissions. I think the most important benefit for rapid transit to a community and air quality is that it can really help create pedestrian-friendly communities, and in turn, people have more active transportation choices like walking, cycling, rollerblading to their destination.
Rapid transit can impact our health in other ways as well. We spoke to Pat Fisher, also from Public Health, to see how rapid transit can impact on our community with the potential to change our lifestyle.
One of the things we know from research is that people aren't getting enough regular physical activity. And when you're taking transit, every trip begins and ends with a walk. So right there, you're getting some more walking and some more physical activity. In addition, we see around the transit stations, there's a growth in the number of people who are going to be there, job opportunities, shops, services, really access to local food as part of that. And that helps to create active, vibrant places, which helps create a nice sense of community for everybody.
Officials are really interested in getting people out of their cars just because it is unhealthy, and we know that sooner or later we're not going to have the resources to support it.
Rapid transit is also good for businesses. In some cities, rapid transit has attracted new businesses because of the increased pedestrian activity it brings. In fact, a survey done in Ottawa found that more than a third of transit riders said bus routes influenced where they shopped. Rapid Transit also attracts a highly educated creative class, providing businesses with greater access to a larger pool of skilled workers. We spoke to Michael Copland at the Home Hardware in Uptown Waterloo to get his take on Rapid Transit's benefit to businesses.
Well, I'm a firm believer in public transit. I think we need to invest more money in transit. We need to plan for the future. We're going to have absolute gridlock if we don't. We need to get people out of their cars. You need a fast, rapid system to do that. Simple bus system by itself doesn't get the job done. I think most businesses will benefit from the commercial redevelopment and development that occurs along the transit corridors. Developers tend to build in these areas, particularly where the transportation modes intersect. It leads to that kind of growth.
Right now, the region of Waterloo is looking at building a rapid transit system between the cities of Cambridge, Kitchener, and Waterloo. But before any construction begins, the provincial government requires that we do a study to work out some of the details. That study is called an environmental assessment. It helps us to look at many of the different issues that could arise when planning for, building, or running a rapid transit system.
Any good planning exercise that tries to shape communities really depends on transportation, because that really is the core issue. And it became clear to us that we were early enough on that we could shape our community by the use of rapid transit, rather than be like some of the other communities that grew up without good rapid transit in place and are paying the price today. So here we had a chance to be ahead of the game, to put the rapid transit system in place, and then help it to shape our community.
This particular study has 3 steps. The first step helped us to determine if rapid transit is appropriate to help us with our traffic problems and manage our growing population. Regional Council and the public agreed that rapid transit is the best transportation strategy for Waterloo Region. We are now in the second stage of the study, and with public input we've already determined a few things. First, we took 10 different technologies and compared them. We looked at issues like how many people they would carry, if they require major bridges or tunnels to be built, and how they would fit in with our downtowns to help shape our communities. Our consultant team concluded that only bus rapid transit and light rail transit best met the goals of the region's growth management strategy because they can run on roads and off-roads on transitways or rail lines. This means that they can contribute to the atmosphere and growth of our downtowns by being at street level and accessible to everyone. Regional Council and the public also supported this recommendation. Bus Rapid Transit, or BRT, uses buses operating in designated lanes on the road separate from traffic or off-road in their own right-of-way. BRT vehicles are powered by either a diesel engine, diesel electric, propane, natural gas, or hybrid technologies. They can reach speeds of 80 kilometers per hour, but typically have an average speed of 25 to 35 kilometers per hour, including stops. Stations are typically spaced between 400 meters and 2 kilometers apart to provide limited stop service. Some vehicles can carry bicycles on board or on special bike racks mounted on the front of the bus. Within Canada, a BRT system has been operating for some time in Ottawa. Light rail transit, or LRT, uses steel-wheeled vehicles on steel rails embedded in the road or on a separate railway line. LRT vehicles can range from streetcars to trams to lightweight cars. These vehicles are mostly powered by overhead electrical wires, but some newer systems use hybrid diesel-electric engines. LRT systems have an average speed of 25 to 50 kilometers per hour, including stops. Stations are typically spaced between 500 meters and 4 kilometers apart to provide limited stop service. They can also be designed to integrate with regular bus services and park and ride lots. Within Canada, LRT systems are in operation in Toronto, Calgary, and Edmonton. Now that we have narrowed our choices to 2 technologies, we need to decide on the best route for the system to travel and where it should stop along the way.
To keep in mind that it is a rapid transit system, it's not supposed to be a local system where you can hop on in your own neighborhood and ride it to anywhere.
These are decisions that will affect your future and the future of the Waterloo region for many years to come, so be sure to get involved.
I think we should care just because it is our city, it is our community, and ultimately we need to keep it healthy for our own benefit.
Add your voice to the discussion by attending public meetings and by contacting us with your comments.